Gotta love when creators get together. There's a sense of other artists are going to recognize other artists, and I think that's super cool.
That is so true. Yeah, it's great to be in that creative flow with other people. It's always just that energy of helping each other out and wanting everyone to succeed and make the best track out there. So it is always it's been really good so far, our experience with collaborating with other artists.
Welcome everybody to Casting for Two, the podcast hosted by me, Chris. This is episode number 501. Last week we hit the big 5-0. Now we 501. Thank you everybody for supporting the podcast. It means the world to me. I never like to talk about behind the scenes stuff, really, but listeners, lots of listeners. I super appreciate all of you. New logo. Podcast is a brand new logo. I'm super excited about it. I'm more excited as well getting swag made up on it. So just lots of good stuff. Castingfor2.com, the best place to go to find all the information and feeds and all that good stuff. But I need to talk about my guests. That's right, I said guests for today. I have a phenomenal duo of ladies on, and Charlie and Emma, when their forces are combined, they make up the wonderful band Mayfly, and they have their latest album, Hideaway Volume 1, is available right now, and they're gearing up to do some performances, some live shows, and I just had so much fun chatting with them. But I'm done talking because I want you guys to listen to this episode, all right? So everybody sit back, relax, and Charlie and Emma, take it away. I was thinking about this the other day because you guys are from in Montreal, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I went to school in British Columbia, and I've met lots of people from Quebec, and I know the bad swear words. I'm not going to say them, but I know them.
Yeah.
But I always found it fascinating that as an American, the sense of travel is like, some people have it, some people don't. But a lot of the Canadian people that I talked to really traveled and had this worldly sense about them. And just hearing that, oh yeah, we just went to Amsterdam and had our minds blown. Yeah. I'm just like, why can't I have that?
Oh, where do you live?
So I currently live in Texas, and I've hated it for 10 years. So,
shit.
But yeah, no. But I'm from Oregon, the West Coast. So I'm like,
Nice.
yeah, that's where my heart is. So, but
Nice.
and would you? I mean, again, aside from the Amsterdam trip, did you guys take any kind of traveling when you were younger, like, I don't know, like take a year off before going to college or anything like that?
Um, we didn't take a year off before going to college to travel, but I did travel a lot with my mom when I was little because my parents got divorced when I was 4, so I was alone with my mom as like my tutor for a very long time, and we traveled a lot together. Uh, I think that was your first time.
Yeah, it was my first time in Europe for me, for Charlie. I didn't travel a lot. I've been to like Mexico once, Cuba. That's pretty much it. So it was good to see Europe. It feels like, I don't know, it felt like home already. We're already
Going to Europe once.
go to Europe once. No, but it felt like I don't know. It was amazing, and we're already going back in March, and I feel like we'll be going back a lot. So,
Well, and then, saying how the trip was eye-opening and just a great experience. Did you, and I know just going once, doesn't, It's just once, but once of many more. But did you notice that? Oh, it had an effect on your writing or the way that you see things as far as music goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, we came back so recently and we haven't necessarily, well, no, we've written music
Yeah, we
since
have.
then. We've been mostly practicing shows. So I
Mm.
think, in a way, honestly, it has affected us or shaped us in a more, I don't know, we have a very positive outlook now on life. It's really
Hmm.
like the year changed, 2023 happened, came back from traveling, and we just felt so motivated with the project.
Mm.
It's kind of like kicked us back into gear, and we were
Hmm.
like, yes, this is why we're doing it. We cannot wait to present the show in Europe. And so it gave us this very positive sense of motivation and just determination to keep grinding. I think that we
Mm.
had lost it a little bit during the holidays, being like, what's going on? And then this really shifted it into sixth gear. And so yeah, we've just been like so happy and excited and uplifted by the music that we're making, but especially when we're practicing the shows.
We also met a lot of other artists in
Yeah,
Amsterdam, and
yeah,
there's even people that now we are like at the moment collaborating
yeah.
with on a song and stuff from Amsterdam that we met
Hmm.
there. And I think we just always like been also inspired by the people there that we've met,
Yeah,
like friends of friends
Mm.
that are also doing business or art stuff. And yeah.
You gotta love when creators get together. There's a sense of uh just like support, and I think that's
yeah.
always special. And I'm not saying that's exclusive towards the arts community, but
No, no,
I
no.
feel like it can go either, like, it definitely in the fashion world I feel like it's very competitive, but in music I
It,
feel like if you're good, other artists are going to recognize other artists, and I think that's super cool.
that is so true. Yeah, it's great to be in that creative flow with other people. It's always just in, yeah, that energy of helping each other out and wanting everyone to succeed and make the best track out there. So it is always, it's been really good so far, our experience with collaborating with other artists.
And so you have an album, Hideaway, Volume One, out.
Yeah.
I'm curious, was this something that was born, out of COVID, during the COVID time, or something before, quote unquote after? Like, where does this take place for you guys?
We try like we begin to imagine the Hideaway project maybe like 2 years ago, like before
Mm.
COVID for
Hmm.
sure, that we were talking about it, and but I think it got more an actual thing during COVID. No,
Hmm.
was it after COVID?
No, no, it was
During
during COVID.
COVID,
It was in
yeah.
parallel to an EP that we had released. Also, it was always in the back of our heads, and
Hmm.
it was actually when we first moved to Montreal. I remember we wrote
Hmm.
the first song, "Take Me Away," and that song really struck us, and we were like, "Oh, there's a universe behind that track. Let's make a whole, you know, 13 song body of work in that same universe." And so it was just the next 2 3 years following that, our arrival in Montreal. Um, as said, we worked a lot during the pandemic on that project in parallel with other singles, other songs that didn't have anything to do with Hideaway. So yeah, it's been like a long time coming, and I feel like we
Hmm.
really wanted to wait for that right moment to share it with the world. We wanted to feel as though we were in that right mental space as well
Mm.
to share this kind
Hmm.
of darker,
Yeah.
deep side of us.
We needed
And
more knowledge as well. I
yeah,
think that
Mm.
was a project that
yeah,
even when we moved to Montreal in 2019,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, we already visualized Hideaway, but we already knew we wanted to do something more dark and electro with
Hmm.
it, which at the time we did not have any knowledge
Mm.
into like a production for electro music. So
Exactly.
that's also another thing. Like we when we first arrived, we went more into like a indie pop, indie folk vibe, which was easier for us to start with. But that's why I think we also wanted to take the time to find the right people and get more experience in production and writing
Exactly.
for,
Yep.
to do like to masterize like a good electro pop sound.
It's so interesting to hear that, I mean, basically, it's nice to hear that you took the time and, like, let's just say also life experience so that this thing could be fully realized to what you
Yeah.
guys had envisioned. And I think that's super cool that you always had it in the back of your head, like, okay, we're, because I listened to the album. It's very beautiful. It's very haunting. And it's
Yeah.
like those are the things that I'm just kind of like, ooh, all right, because it's very different than what I listen to on the regs. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I super enjoyed it, and
Nice.
uh, so and again, just kind of talking about the whole COVID era.
Yeah.
I spoke not to brag, I spoke to a lot of bands that would just go nuts with their music and just like, okay, we're throwing the whole kitchen sink into it. And I'd ask them,
Yeah.
well, then I'd ask them, okay, are you getting ready to play live shows? Like, how's that going to happen? And they were just like, we have no idea because there's so much going on in these tracks. I don't think that it's even be able to be played live. Did you did you notice that for you guys, or did you have somebody to wrangle you in? You know, when it was like getting into a scary territory, quote unquote scary.
No, I think we just accepted that we were gonna have tracks
Mhm.
during our live shows.
Yeah.
I think that's just something that we, at one point, we did not want it to put like some barriers in our creation or on, I don't know, on the tracks. Like and we're the kind of people that puts like too many layers in a song. So I think at one point we just accepted that there was gonna be some tracks during the show
Mhm.
and that we couldn't play everything live.
No, but we were mindful of keeping the core of each song
Mhm.
being played live, and to be able to actually play live instruments and have our musician be comfortable playing the parts and everything. So we were definitely mindful of that to some extent. But as Em said, we like to kind of create without boundaries, and I don't think there's necessarily, right answer to how you should approach live shows. It's to each their own. And also we're still so young and emerging into the live show industry. So we've got a lot of stuff to learn for sure, but we're all about, making mistakes and trying out and having the most terrible shows in order to learn from that and to see how we can make the next one better. And so we're just kind of going with how we feel right now. And
and also I think that there's no problem of like modifying your show, but it doesn't sound exactly like the album version on Spotify or any streaming platform. I think there's something beautiful into like going to a show and there's a bit of a difference also. So
yeah, there's nothing wrong with having a special live experience. I mean, that's
exactly.
That's kind of the whole point. And just going with the recent album, Hideaway Volume 1, was there one song, this is a two-parter, one song off the album that was, I guess, took a little bit longer to figure out whether something wasn't gelling, whether it was the music or the lyrics or just anything really?
Honestly, I think that the one we had the hardest time was Passenger Seat. Even though now it's, the way it's full produced, it sounds kind of simple, quote unquote, but it was actually, we kind of flipped that 180. It wasn't necessarily going in that direction at all. And we had this, there's like this dark kind of haunting beginning with like the harmonizer on my voice that's like in your face, and then it's taking a whole other direction afterwards that you're just like, whoa, what? And then it turns into like this dance song. And so it was a bit of a challenge to try and like structure that song and to find out what was the emotion that we were trying to portray. And so honestly, I think that one
was the hardest one.
was the hardest to kind of get in the pocket.
I think Take Me Away as well was.
But strangely enough, like Passenger Seat is one of the most successful ones. Well, it is one of our most streams. It is our most streamed single. So we're like, yes, that weird structure, people love it. So we're really satisfied with the outcome of it, because we were kind of scared that people would just be confused by the extremely long beginning of it, the like long intro, and then anyways, so yeah.
Well, and so going with the flip side, was there one that just kind of fell together a lot easier than the rest?
Do you have an answer for that, Em?
I'm trying to think of the songs on the first EP.
Blackwater, Pretty Ending,
Yeah.
Take Me Away.
I think Pretty Ending.
Yeah, I think so. I was gonna say that too.
Really easy.
Yeah.
I think we did it in a day, maybe. Like with the guys that produced with us. Yeah, I think Pretty Ending was like the most simple one, because I think we had such a clear idea in mind, and we tried some stuff, but not that much. I think like the vision was very clear for this song. So yeah, I guess this is why it was so easy to work on it.
And so, you know, you've been saying that you have more songs cooked up. When I don't know if you've announced it yet, but Volume 2?
When's that one
dropping?
We don't know exactly. I think we were kind of waiting to get like the response of the first volume before putting the Volume 2 out to the world, but it's for sure gonna be in
spring
23, like 2023.
But we're aiming for spring.
Yeah, spring, summer.
Nice. Okay. And you mentioned that you were getting ready to do some touring or some shows coming up.
Yeah.
How's like what's the mental process for that? I know, you know, the music, you know, of course, hit your notes and stuff like that. But mentally, where are you guys at for that?
Well, it's a big shift mentally, as you mentioned. I think spending time in the studio and making songs in the studio is a whole different mindset than, you know, bringing these songs to life and being comfortable behind your instrument and behind your microphone and being comfortable in front of an audience. And it's something that we know that we need to gain experience right now. But this year is really one of the number one focus is really live shows, because we want to be able to, you know, bring that universe that we have in the pocket, you know, on Spotify, on Apple, and in people's ears. We want to bring that in front of their eyes as well during live shows. So it was really a shift, you know, a few months ago when we kicked it in motion for the live shows. It's like, okay, every day thinking about what we need to add to the creation of the show, you know, what's the best placement on stage. We're constantly adding, removing like gear, or we're actually always buying new gear and figuring out, okay, no, this song would need this type of keyboard, and so it's
adding intros or outros to some songs
exactly
as well, that are not in the stream version.
Yeah, and essentially, I think it's also getting ready to play in front of a crowd. Like, that's going to be such an amazing feeling, and we're so pumped about that, because you know, when you release an album, you get feedback, but you get most of it online through people sending you DMs and everything, and it's such a wonderful feeling. But we can't wait to get, you know, that human warmth and like that feedback from a live crowd. So we're also anticipating how that's going to feel, and yeah.
And I bet also again, not a musician, never done anything like that, but like the going to the place, like the touring aspect, the lugging the equipment, I feel like that must also be kind of fun. Like tiring, but sure, like, okay, let's get the equipment loaded. We got 20 minutes, let's go. Hurry. We got to be in and out. Hurry. I don't know, that just seems fun as well. Or part of the experience, I guess I should say.
Yes, 100%. Like, we know that it's going to be an exhausting, probably tiring thing to do eventually when we're ready to tour, because we have so many musician friends who've toured a lot and, you know, who are done with their career now, and they're talking to us about their experiences, and it seems like such a hectic thing, but they're always like, it's, you know, probably one of the most pleasant parts of being a musician is going to all these different cities and meeting all these different people and playing in terrible venues, playing in amazing venues. So it's going to be an adventure that I don't think we're quite ready mentally yet. We'll have to live it to know. But we're excited. That's for sure.
That's nice. And for the people at home to keep up with everything that you're doing online, or just get latest album shows, all that good stuff, where can they do all that?
Uh, our main platform that we use the most to interact with people, I think it's more Instagram.
Yeah.
Like if people want to really follow the journey, even just like our creative process, we share a lot of it on Instagram, and we sometimes even like do little live sessions, covers, and everything. So it's the Mayfly underscore official.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our platform.
Okay, perfect. And before I let you two go, I have one question. No right or wrong answers. I'm just very curious. What does music mean to you?
Aw. Well, I think we share probably a similar answer, but for my part, music, it honestly means everything. I think that I would not have grown as quickly as an individual if I didn't have music as a way to like work through my emotions. It's such a release to be able, and I feel so lucky to be able to make music and to have that be, first of all, my career, but also my passion. It's inexplicable, the feeling that it gives me when I'm making music with M, alone with other people. Like it's crazy. It just feels like I am on my X, and it feels like, yeah, it helps me grow every day to feel that motivated about something. And I guess, yeah, that's, and also to be able to share it with the world and let people know that, hey, like we're here to listen to you guys as well. And we want you guys to kind of come into our universe and feel safe with us, and to realize that it's okay, to have feelings and emotions. And it's also okay if you want to follow your passion, whatever that is. I think that our number one message is like, please do what sets your heart on fire, because like life is so freaking short and no moment has to be wasted. So that's how I feel about music. It's deep, but it's true.
I pretty much feel the same. Honestly, I think Charlie said it pretty much everything, but also I think it's just music is a universal language as well. I feel that in a way everyone, whether like wherever you're from or what's your background or what you're doing on a day to day, everyone can kind of understand each other. So I think that's also something that is really interesting and that I like a lot about music. And I just like how music can just be a way to evacuate what needs to be let out. Because I think like to me, music is the it's one of the main and only way to like make peace with some stuff that you've gone through.
Yes.
And I think that it is for a lot of people, and music is a way for other people to feel understand as well. And I think that music in a way, like you never feel alone with music. And if you're in moments that you feel alone, I think that the best thing that you can do like is to make or to listen to music, because that's what makes you feel less alone. And I think that's a reason why I love it so much, and it's so close to my heart every day.
It's I love both of those answers. And I don't, my background, I'm going to talk about me now for a second. No, but, but my background is film. I went to film school. I love movies. I love, all of that. But music was something that I did in high school. And the older I get, the more I've noticed that I'm becoming more precious of music. And just like, because I mean, when I'm working, I'm listening to music. I can't watch movies while I work, but yeah, no. I'll listen to music all day. And it's just one of those things that I don't know. I have so much respect towards musicians and the writing process, the performing process. And so, no, I totally agree with what both of you said, and just how it also is a lifesaver.
Yeah,
it's crazy that music does all that.
I know.
But thank you two so much for chatting with me. Anytime you want to come back, just say the word, and I'm excited to see where you do shows, the next album, and just see where you two go on your musical journey.
Nice. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank
It
you
was
so
really good to
much.
talk. And for sure we'll reach out soon enough.
Fantastic. But have a wonderful rest of your day, and
Yeah.
keep staying safe and healthy. All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
you as
too.
well.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.